So might James think about finishing his career elsewhere in pursuit of a fifth ring? When posed that question, both league sources close to James and team sources would not rule that possibility out. And that was before the revealing elimination game. That's from The Athletic. Tom, is there any team besides the Cleveland Cavaliers that you think LeBron James would leave the Los Angeles Lakers for?
I don't know. I think it's all about the storyline of going back home and finishing out his career with Cleveland. I think that's what that quote is about. I think LeBron, given that he already went back for nostalgic reasons and for the trying to win a championship for the city of Cleveland, we already know that he cares a lot about Cleveland and Akron and Northeast Ohio. The question for me, Kev, here, is this just another one of these LeBron leverage plays where he's going to have this player option that he can dangle in front of his organization like he has so many times in his career, and the kind of threat of being like, hey, if you don't upgrade at the 5, I might just not pick up that player option. I might not sign here. I might not want to be here anymore. That comment after the loss it's hysterical on like 2 levels. One, LeBron saying no comment to the question about like roster upgrades at center or whatever, and then he proceeds to comment. And the other is like he has to figure out a way to have leverage against his team to, do things at his command in a way that like he's still 40 years old and still playing at a high level, and he wants to have that power and leverage over his front office. And he saw, I don't think it's a coincidence that Anthony Davis, a clutch client, was not able to stay long-term after he said, like, I think I want to play at the 5, and LeBron James saying a week later he was gone. I think that was instructive. I think LeBron is still feeling like he's not getting his way, or Clutch or Rich Paul is getting his way. And I think he's trying to find leverage in ways that he can get that 5, that spacing, that lob threat 5. Someone like Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively. I did 5 trade targets in a column this week over at Yahoo Sports. And I think that's what it was all about, is LeBron James trying to find leverage to get that guy that will make not just him life easier so he doesn't have to play the 5, but also Luka Doncic.
Look, I mean, Pelinka is in Laker Luka mode here. I think it's all about Luka, more so than LeBron. If LeBron were to leave, obviously that's a loss for the Lakers. But this is all about building around Luka at this point. Pelinka might say it's for LeBron, but it's really for the long term with Luka Doncic here, with their priorities here. That's why they reversed the Mark Williams trade, because they're thinking long term. It's why this offseason they're going to try to make an acquisition, obviously, that helps in the short term and the long term, but it's really about optimizing Luka, and Dallas knows the formula. Lob guys who can protect the rim on defense, but offer verticality around the basket. The one interesting thing about that, though, is Pelinka and his presser this week did say, we're also looking for stretch guys that protect the rim as well. Miles Turner has always been linked to the Pacers, up to the Lakers for years. They've never got him, but he is an unrestricted free agent this offseason. So maybe that's who he's talking about. Could be Miles Turner, but I would expect the Lakers are going to look for somebody that's the long-term center for Luka. And if LeBron decided, hey, I want to go to Cleveland, if Cleveland loses to the Pacers or gets destroyed by Boston in the East Finals, I'm not totally sold that Cleveland should or would trade for LeBron. I'm just not, like, at his age right now, Tom. Like, part of me, if I'm in that Cavs front office, I want to do it without him. Is that wrong of me to feel that way if I'm a Cavs fan or like in the Cavs front office?
I think in like 2 years, like you give 2 runs with this core before you make a deal like that. I think just you owe it to Kenny Atkinson and Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, and Darius Garland and the city of Cleveland to try to give this a run, a real run for at least 2 years with this core before you bring in LeBron. But I do think that there's a real like tug for LeBron emotionally to go back and retire in Cleveland. But I'm with you. I think Rob Pelinka is looking at this.
Tom, for LeBron, it would be year 23 back home. It is poetic.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. You've already written the marketing for Nike and then LeBron's camp. You've already done it. Year 23. I think LeBron, it's not going to be this offseason. I think he's laying down the tracks of in the next couple years in his final season, his farewell tour, that he does it in Cleveland. I don't think it's going to be with the Lakers. I think that LeBron is close to 0% of retiring. Look, I had that column, little behind the scenes. We had that column ready for that as soon as the buzzer hit, the 5 trade options for the Lakers. And I had written it during the game, before the game, to try to figure out, like, if they lose in this game, like, where do they go? Where do they get their Daniel Gafford or their Derek Lively, their lob threat? And I was sitting there with our editor, Matt Wong, waiting for LeBron James to just like definitively say whether he was going to be back or not. And he left it up open in the air of saying, like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I got to make some decisions on my own. But like, this is what he does every year. I was like, dude, I don't think, I was talking to Matt, I was like, I don't think that he's going to say declaratively one way or the other. He's going to leave this open in the air because he wants leverage. And I think the guy that they're going to try to pursue is, Jared Allen, to me, is the Hail Mary, the guy that would fit perfectly with what they want to do. A defensive-minded big man who doesn't need the ball in his hands, who can finish at the rim, being a lob threat, really good short roll passer, someone that is super, super a star in his role, already a one-time All-Star, and has a great contract going forward. And you're saying, why would the Cavaliers give that up? Well, it's because they already have Evan Mobley as Defensive Player of the Year. And if you're going to say that they've got to figure out a way to keep this second apron and figure out a way to manage this cap space or the cap in this new CBA, someone's got to go, like, long term. Evan Mobley's contract extension, the max level extension, is going to kick in next season, and they are going to be deep into the tax. Only 2 other teams are going to have a higher tax bill than the Cleveland Cavaliers at this point, Boston and Phoenix. So Cleveland, if they're going to figure out a way to move off some money on the edges, it's not going to work. They're going to have to break up that core 4. If they do, maybe Darius Garland is the piece, or it's too early to speculate here because the Cavs might win this title anyway. They've already done amazing things in this postseason, but I think Jared Allen would be like A1. As good as Jaren Jackson is, I don't think he's the perfect fit there for Los Angeles. I think a Jared Allen type, Walker Kessler, a similar profile of a lob threat who plays hard defensively, can protect the rim. That kind of guy is what I think that the Lakers need to target, and it can't be Brook Lopez. It can't be a guy who's nearing 40 to be your starting center next season. I think he'd be more in like the kind of the Alex Len role, where it's like he's the backup to the guy going forward, to their young center going forward. I don't think it's Brook Lopez as much as people are putting Brook Lopez in LA because he was there before. I don't think he's the answer.
He's 37. Like, it's just, he's dude. Not. It's like, yes, as the backup, that makes some sense. But I agree with you, Tom. As the starter, I don't think so for the Lakers. Capella out of the free agents would be probably more likely as a good fit. But even then, he's over 30. Miles Turner, that's probably the best case scenario of the free agents for the Lakers. He's 29 years old. He can be a lob guy or a pick and pop guy, a solid rim protector as well. But ultimately, I thought your trade article made a lot of sense because the best options are the guys that you would trade for if you're the Lakers. And we'll see. Long off season ahead. Pelinka was very open about how that's a huge priority for them. So we'll see in the coming weeks and months as the draft approaches, the offseason approaches, what the Lakers could do.